Hi cuties, I'm Lanikia and you're watching What Happened on the Soaps. This is Bold and the Beautiful edition. Today is July the 20th, 2022, Tuesday. And this is actually, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give it an 8. No. Yeah, I'm going to give it an 8. Finn did really well in this. Let's get to it. So we see Deacon and Hope are together. And she comes to visit him, and she comes in, and she's like, oh, my gosh. And he was like, what's the matter? And she was like, I'll never get over coming here. I said, well, you didn't have this reaction at Paris' wedding, but okay, let's move on. And she said, I'll never get over coming here and just thinking about what happened to Steffi as well as Finn. I can't believe Sheila did that. And Deacon is just like, yeah, like he says, I know I have to work here, but it's hard every time I come through those doors and everything, being the one who found them. And so Hope said, Dad, you need to get professional help for that. She said, and not just Taylor, but I'm sure she would recommend someone, because Taylor is kind of, I don't know, gets a friend and she's close to them. She said, but so I'm sure she could recommend someone to you. And he's like, girl, I'm good. Like, I'm not getting professional help. I'm going to be okay. And so Deacon, then they start talking about, Sheila and how Hope says you were close to Sheila and everything. And Deacon says, yes, but let me stop you right here. Because he said, I think I know what you're getting at. And he says, I don't know where Sheila is. He was like, yes, we were close. Yes. He built up a type of bond with Sheila. He said, but after she did what she did, I have not heard from her and have not tried to reach out. I've cut all ties with Sheila. And she was like, he was like, I really need you to believe that. And she was like, I do, Dad. And everything. So after that happens, I'm not going to hold you long. So after that happens, they just talk about Sheila. And she was like, guess who got her out? She was like, Mike Guthrie. Is it Guthrie? Anyway, she said he got her out, and he says that name sounds familiar. And he was like, apparently he's worked with Sheila before. And he was like, oh yeah, because he remembers. And he was like, why would somebody want to help Sheila? And he was like, Sheila can be very charming. And he said, and maybe he has a thing for her. And Hope was like, what? And he said, no. He was like, some people like that type of crazy. And he said, and Sheila is very charismatic, and she will turn on that charm, and you'll just think, oh, she's so defenseless. And she'll tell you, I just want to be loved. I just want a family. I just want to be cared for, and someone to care for me. And to care for someone else. And he said, it could win you over. He said, but that's how con artists do. Like that's one of the reasons that they're so good. Even serial killers get away with certain things, because people are always, you always hear, okay, I can't believe it. I live right next door to them. They were so nice. They were this, they were that. And that's how they get away with that kind of stuff, because they are just so likable and friendly. Although Sheila is not, that, but he's just saying, like, when it comes to Mike, maybe he's enamored with her, and that's why he does it for her or whatever. But anyways, their whole thing is that they want Sheila to be found. Let's move on. Y'all, they are still questioning Mike. So Ridge, Baker, and Brooke are there questioning Mike, and they're just like, come on, Mike, we know you know where Sheila is. And Baker tries to appeal to the cop side and just says, we'll make it easier for you. We just want to know where she is. And if you just tell us, we'll stand by you, stick up for you. We know it was probably just, she manipulated you. She used you. She did this and that. And Mike is not breaking. And so then Ridge is like, come on, man. We know what she is. You did it. How could you sit there and tell us with that lie that you didn't do it? And Mike is like, I don't know what you're talking about. He said, Sheila and I are not as close as y'all are making it out to be. He said, yeah, I knew of her. Who doesn't know of her? But it's not like that. And he says, and I'm a changed man. I'm not that same Mike anymore that used to help Sheila out every now and then. He's like, I'm not that man anymore. My record is clean. I'm a good, upstanding citizen. I'm one of the good guys. Baby, he is frustrating Ridge, but I'm not going to dwell on it. Let's move on to what Brooke had to say. And she says, what don't you have anyone you love? And he says, yes. He was like, what if Sheila, a maniac, was on the loose and they killed she was like, and they killed your wife and your daughter? Wouldn't you be upset about that? Like, would you want her behind bars? And Mike is looking like he might break, but at this point, Mike is not breaking for Sheila. Like, she got him, and he is not breaking. So then we see Finn and Sheila. Baby, Finn is out of the bed. He is trying to walk, and he is collapsing. He falls to the floor, and Sheila's like, oh my gosh, Finn. Because he said, I'm going to get to Steffi. But anyways, he falls down, so she gets him back up in the bed, right? Okay, child. Because this was the best part of this episode. So she gets him back in the bed, and she's telling him, Finn, you can't do this. You can't go anywhere. And he was like, call Steffi. I need help. Call somebody. Give me help. I mean, I'm not going to hold y'all long because they're saying the same thing they've been saying. He's begging her to call. She's telling him she can't. He's saying it's cruel to do Steffi like this. And she says, I understand, but you'll be with them soon. You just need to heal up some more. And once you're better, like, this isn't forever. I'm going to send you back to your family. But I just want this time for you now. He's saying, I don't want to be with you. She says, well, why would you talk to me like this? I'm your mother. And he says, so then Finn starts saying, you said you saved me, right? And she said, yes. And he says, how? Because he goes back to the death certificate and he said, how did you get me out of the morgue? How did you do this? And she says, you're asking a lot of questions. He said, you had to know I was going to ask. I said, Sheila, you did have to know this man was going to ask. And she said, just rest. Everything will be answered later. We just need you to rest. And he said, no, tell me, how did you get me out of the morgue? And then what medicines did you give me? You said I was been unconscious. What medicines did you give me? How did you feed me? He is asking her all kinds of questions because he said, you're not a doctor and you haven't been a nurse for years. So how did this work? And so he said, you were the one who saved me, right? Mama. He said, you were the one who saved me, right? And she was like, Finn, Finn, just stop asking all these questions. And he was like, how did this all work? Like, you got to have these answers. He was like, you can't answer them, can you? And so she had to go ahead and admit that Lee is the one who did it. And he said, Lee. And he said, so where's my mother? And she said, I'm your mother. And he was like, please, girl, where is my mother? Where is she? What did you do to her? And baby, Sheila started squatting down. I said, Sheila, what are you doing? She started squatting down on that bed. He said, what did you do to her, Sheila? I said, Sheila, hold it together. Like, if you're going to do this, hold it together. This is just like, when you let it go to Steffi them that, yes, I did it. I shot Finn. You can't hold it together about Lee. You couldn't come up with some type of answers about how you took care of Finn. But he said, what did you do to my mom, Sheila? Where is she? What have you done? And so, baby, Sheila is just like, let's move on. But Sheila is squatting down at that bed because she can't answer this. And she's afraid to tell him what she's done. And then we flash back to Sheila remembering what she did to Lee. Because Sheila, you did it. You can fool Mike and tell Mike, she drove off the cliff. And no, we know you pushed her. And Finn knows it too because he knows the type of person you are now. But y'all, that was the bold and the beautiful today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you on the next video. Bye.